What's going on, people, and welcome back to another top 10. I haven't done one of these for a long time, and I've been wanting to bring it back for a little while, so we're going to get back into it today with top 10 Italian footballers, specifically for their country, and these are players that are grown up around watching, so it's not just of all time, but of the people that I grew up and saw and classed the best. So I hope you enjoy my top 10 Italian footballers. Number 10, Zambra, a right back, played as a full back and could also play as a winger or a wide midfielder. Won a World Cup with Italy. A tireless engine, technically good on the ball, pretty quick as well, hard to beat in one-on-one situations, and pretty good with crossing as well. So very well-rounded as a player, and he has to be included in this list. He's one that I remember for Juventus and other teams that he played for, but more specifically for Italy, and he has to make this list, so Zambra makes it in at number 10. Number 9, we've got Christian Vieri. Now, I learnt about him more through his club teams and club football. When I think of Christian Vieri, I think of his time at Inter Milan more than anything, when he had them few seasons where he was up there in terms of top scoring in the league for them, but for Italy as well, I know that he had his moments, so he has to be in this list. Strong on the ball, good in the air, and had a bit of a nasty streak to him, but you needed it in them days. And for me, he's one that I always remember. So Christian Vieri in at number 9. In at number 8, Nesta. Now, another player that I probably saw more for his club teams, but I remember him for his country as well, and just rock solid at the back, along with someone else in this list that I will mention at some point. But for me, his partnership with this other guy was key to how good Italy were, and for club teams as well, in terms of whoever else's partner was at club level, and that is Nesta. Rock solid centre-back, pretty quick for a centre-back, tall, good in the air, hard to beat one-on-one, positional sense outstanding as well, was rarely beat, and just one of them that you could rely on every game. Every time that he turned up and was available to play, you knew what you were going to get from him. So Nesta, quality defender, and one of the best that Italy's ever had, in my opinion, and one that sometimes I think goes a little bit under the radar, but for those that know how good he was. So Nesta has to make this list. Number 7, Francesco Tottie. I mean, he's probably going to be number 1 on a lot of people's lists when it comes to Italians. Kind of like their prince, do you know what I mean? Like, one-man team with Roma for this whole career. A lot of players do that in any country. Loyal, a warrior on the pitch, but technically very good as well. Can score goals, could assist. A very flair-type player. And probably should have won something with Italy. I must admit, he never quite got there on the international scene with Italy, but he was still a vital part of their team. And let's be honest, they're a global icon at one point as a footballer. So Totti has to make this list, and he makes it in at number 7. Number 6, another one that a lot of people probably have as their number 1. But for me, he was a little bit before my time in terms of, especially on the international scene, that I didn't really grow up seeing a lot of. I saw him more for his clubs, but that was Paulo Maldini, the legend, one of the best defenders, period, in the history of football. Played for so long as well. Reliable, hardly ever injured. His son is now playing for AC Milan, for following in his father's footsteps. But a cultured defender, good technique on the ball, could get forward if he needed to. But positional sense, hardly ever out of position, hard to beat one-on-one. Just a statue of a man that you would not want to face as an attacker. He was that good. Paulo Maldini has to make this list. As I said, he was a little bit before my time on the international scene, but I know what a legend he is and is considered and was, so he has to make this list, and he makes it in at number 6. Number 5, Marco Matarazzi. This is someone that I remember specifically in World Cups for Italy. More so for his country than his club teams. I did see him over the years more for Inter Milan, but I was a big fan of his. Very good technique on the ball for such a big guy, very tall and kind of gangly, but deceptively quick for a big guy, I thought. Strong on the ball, hard to beat one-on-one again, but deceptively quick for someone his size, I thought, and great technique for someone his size as well. Good from set pieces, scoring headers, and I thought he was a vital part of that Italy team that won the World Cup. So for me, there's obviously that incident with Zidane that he's remembered for with that, but for me, I remember him and his performances he put in for the Azzurri. And he was a major part in them winning that World Cup and just being a good side over the years. A rock at the back and someone that I don't really think gets the credit he should, and he isn't really spoken about as much as other players around the same time. But for me, I was a big fan of his, and that is Marco Matarazzi. He makes it in at number 5. Number 4, Alessandro Del Piero. A majestic player, a cultured player, could change a game in an instant, in the attacking third. Very loyal as well, staying with Juventus a long time. And just a game changer, like I said. I feel like, again, similar to some of the other players on this list, I remember him more for his club teams than his country, but he still has to be regarded as a great player for his country as well because of the level he was at. And I feel like there were certain instances, I think it was when Italy won the World Cup, believe it was 2006, when he affected the game in a positive outcome and helped them and influenced games at later stages in the tournament. But a great player, technique, fabulous, could change a game in any minute as well, like I said. And one that I definitely miss watching, and one that Alex Ferguson tried to sign for Manchester United at one point, but his loyalty to Juventus kept him there, so got to respect that as well. So Del Piero has to make this list, and he makes it in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Canavaro, a centre-back, won the World Cup for Italy, goes a little bit underrated for me, doesn't get spoken about enough when you look back on great players. Very fast for a centre-back, I thought. Wasn't the tallest, but was still good in the air for his size. A good leap on him, good technique on the ball, a natural leader, vocal, could save you at any minute in the game, like when you need a crucial block or interception. He was great at reading the game, and I just don't think he gets spoken about enough when it comes to greats for Italy. He did win them the World Cup, as I said, and he was a vital part of that squad. So for me, he has to be involved in this list, and that's why I've got him so far down. Because without his leadership, I don't think they would have probably won that World Cup in 2006. So for me, Canavaro makes the list, and he makes it in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, now 1 and 2 was very hard to figure out who was going to be second and first. But I had to pick one of them, and number 2, we've got Gianluigi Buffon. Made his debut in 1990, the year I was born, his professional debut. Years at Parma, was at Juventus. But the main thing that stands out with him is longevity in the game. Only recently retired, now has a role at Juventus behind the scenes. And just think of someone that you could go to for experience. There's not going to be many players in world football in history that you can get nuggets from in terms of experience, and especially for goalkeepers. So I think he's a vital part of world football and the history of football, and he has to make this list. Had a massive say on the national side as well as his club level, and he's a legend. So Gianluigi Buffon makes the list, and he makes it in at number 2. Coming in at number 1, Pirlo. Now, this guy is a cultured midfielder, one that never had any pace about him, but he had the pace in his mind, the quickness of mind, quickness of thought, technique, ability, set pieces, positional sense on the field, knowing what he was going to do with the ball before he received it. And he was a vital part in the World Cup winning squad, I thought. So for me, Pirlo is a very underrated player. He does get his praise, but I feel like against other Italians and stuff, he doesn't always get mentioned when I feel that he should. And I think he was the cog in that team in the World Cup. So for me, he has to be number 1. He's one of the players I like watching the most as well. He didn't do tricks but he had quickness of thought, as I said. He was very rarely caught out, miscontrolling the ball or stray pass. His pass accuracy was unbelievable. And he made it look easy, a bit like a Xavi or more like a Xavi in Spain. As I said, not blessed with pace, but blessed with quickness of thought and knowing where to be on the field and to affect the game and control the game and dictate the tempo and the pace of the game. And he could score free kicks as well, and penalties. So for me, it was pretty easy to put him at number one. There is arguably people on this list that could be at number one very easily as well. But I think he was that important in the team at the time when they won it. He has to be number one for me. So I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list, guys. I'm going to be trying to do more of these more frequently. I hope you enjoy them. They do take a while to make. Please leave a like on the video, and it helps with the channel. It helps it grow. And I'll see you guys soon.